Dip 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 da.
I don't shut up, I grow up. And when I look at you, I throw up. I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. Ah, don't you just miss your childhood? Not really. But I miss a childhood that I never had, which is Stand By Me, the movie. And I'm wearing the shirt today. Look, check this out, guys. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this movie, Stand By Me. If you haven't, you need to watch it. And it says, I don't shut up, I grow up, and when I look at you, I throw up. And then right here, you got a picture of the four characters. Will Wheaton's here, who plays Gordie LaChance. You got River Phoenix back here, who is sadly dead in real life. He plays Chris Chambers. Then you got Jerry O'Connell, who plays Vern Tessio. And here you got Corey Feldman, who plays Teddy Duchamp. And this is my all-time favorite childhood movie, and it's not for kids. There's a lot of like swearing and like a lot of bad language and stuff like that in it, but it was one of those movies that I was brought up on. And it's still to this day, it's like my ultimate favorite movie. And I never really, it's one of those movies that you don't watch for so many years, but every now and then you go back to it, and it's just like, it's not even really just a movie. It's weird. It's like an emotional experience. And it's one of those movies that I still today find myself taking personalities or quotes from these kids in the movie, and I still use them in my day-to-day life. It's one of those movies that has that much of an effect on you. I mean, it's weird because like my childhood was mediocre. It wasn't the best childhood, but there were some things that me and my friends did, and for the most of my preteen, early teens years, I was in a group of four boys. Like, I was one of the four. So our group was very similar to this group. And we were very open with each other. We were very, I guess you could say we like really trusted each other enough to talk about our feelings and stuff like that, which back then you didn't really do, especially as a teenage boy growing up in like the early 2000s. It was kind of like, you can't talk about your feelings, that's fucking gay and all that stuff, but we were very close to the point, like, we didn't care. We were just open with each other. We trusted each other. We talked about our problems. We talked about our feelings. And it did feel very similar to Stand By Me. And when I think back to my childhood, a lot of it does feel like, because we were very similar to the kids in the movie. And we even did things like we went exploring on the train tracks, and like we spent time on the train tracks and like going on adventures. And we were smoking cigarettes at the age of 13 and like swearing and talking about like girls and this and that, and it was just like a fun time. Anyway, why I'm telling you all of this is because I decided the other night I was feeling a little bit down, and I thought, like, I didn't really know what to watch. I didn't want to watch my favorite podcast. I didn't want to watch any YouTubers. I just wasn't in the mood for anything like today, you know, like anything modern. I wanted to watch something that would take me back a little bit, and so I decided to watch Stand By Me because I thought I haven't seen this in years, probably at least like 5 years or something, and it was like such an experience. Like, I love that movie so much, and I even posted a picture because I realized one thing especially is the scenery in Stand By Me is so beautiful, and I took a picture from the movie and I put it on my Instagram, which also I want to say to you guys, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram's popping lately, so I'm really trying to get up there to like 10,000 followers hopefully, but I've been posting a lot of like spooky stuff too, and like liminal space pictures and stuff like that. But I just felt like it was only right to post a picture of Stand By Me, and it's a picture of the four boys on the tracks looking toward the forest, where, if you haven't seen what happens, there's a swamp, and I'm not going to tell you what happens, so I don't want to spoil it for you. But I loved watching the movie. It made me feel good. I was just like, it made me calm. It made me think back to like better days. And I think that's the beauty of Stand By Me, is that it does take you back. It makes you miss a childhood that you never had. Like, when you're watching it, you feel like you're watching you and your friends, especially if you had a similar childhood to them. And I'm not just talking about the laughs and the things they did, but also the hard times too, and like coming from sometimes problematic backgrounds and stuff like that, and talking about it and opening up to your friends about it. And it was very similar to my childhood, and all of my friends loved Stand By Me. I actually introduced them to it because I was brought up on it. They had never seen it, and they ended up loving it too. And I remember this one time, me and my friend, and I've talked about this a couple of times on my channel. I think I told you just the other day when I was talking about like the dream that I had about the train tracks, and it's kind of weird. I feel like I got a really weird feeling from watching this movie again, because seeing train tracks throughout the whole movie, it's just like, it's something else. It hits something else. It's like, I don't know, maybe that's why I have dreams about train tracks every now and then. It might be like me reliving my childhood or something. But I remember that me and my friend, I was only with one of my friends at this point, and we were on the train tracks hanging out like we did, and we were actually sitting on this trestle, like a small bridge. It wasn't anything like the one in Stand By Me, thank fuck for that, but we were sitting on this bridge, and we were watching, there was like a bungee jumping thing going on in the distance, and we were watching like people jumping off, and you could just see a little tiny little dot person bouncing like this. They would jump off and then they would just bounce, and we were sitting there smoking cigarettes, eating candy, stuff in our faces, and just enjoying it and having a good day. And I noticed the rail on the track as I was sitting on my friend was standing up right in front of me. We were both kind of facing that way. I was sitting on the line, and the line was like kind of jittering a little, and I looked this way and it went way off out of the way and turned the corner. Nothing. And so I looked that way, and there's like trees and stuff like that, and it was very similar to Stand By Me, except this wasn't like a steam train. It was a big diesel train, like a locomotive, and it had like this big beaming like light on it, and I seen it coming through the bushes, but it was going extremely slow, and at first I wasn't sure if I was just like seeing something, but I looked again, and it's like a big yellow light was there, like a big bright like white light and a red light, and they were coming around, and I saw that it was starting to come around the corner. It was this big yellowish colored train. We shit ourselves. We were like, shit, what do we do? There's a train! But no, it was kind of exciting. It was kind of funny, but it was a little scary. But the train was going extremely slow. Like, it couldn't have been going more than like 5 miles an hour. Kind of like when you're in a car and you just like, you release your foot from the brake and it just kind of rolls. It was going like that speed. And it saw us because we were like, we had everything that we had was laid out on the tracks. Like, we had the candy and root beer and like other things that we had, and like cigarettes and everything all laid out, and our money on the tracks. So we're like quickly trying to pick everything up and put it in our pockets and throw it in a little plastic bag that we had. And the train is coming around the corner, approaching us while we're sitting in the middle of this bridge. And the train driver did see us, and he made that very clear by honking the horn, which was very loud and scary. It was like, and it was like, Jesus, this is scary. We thought it was hilarious, though. We didn't start crying like Gordie and Vern did in the movie, but it was really funny. We didn't really even have to run. We just kind of had to just get off. It was really a short bridge, so it wasn't like you had to run to the other side. But we just got off and stood on the other side, but there was nowhere to go when you got to the other side because it was like fences. So we couldn't even really hide, so we just had to kind of stand there and wait for the train to go by. And I remember thinking we're going to get in trouble. This train driver is going to call the cops and we're going to get trespassed. But no, the train driver drove past. And we were just like kind of looking at him, and he went out the window of the train, like the top. You could see him like way up in the top of the train, like give a thumbs up to us. So I think he was just appreciative that we got out of the way and like we weren't fucking around, because I can imagine it's got to be scary being a train driver and there's kids playing on the tracks. You just don't know what they're gonna do, whether you're gonna injure or kill one of them, or they're gonna do something to like put the train in danger. Like, let's see what happens if we put this like old bicycle on the track and see what happens. So I can imagine it's kind of scary. So I think he was just like showing appreciation. Like, we weren't doing any harm. We were just exploring the tracks and going on adventures. But it was really a good time. It's really a good time. And Teddy's like, a blast. And then the narration voice is like, Vern wasn't just talking about being off limits inside the junkyard, or fudging on our folks, or going on a hike up the railroad tracks to Harlow. He meant those things. Yeah, it's really a good movie. It's made me feel like a little bit happier. Just this last couple of days, I've been feeling happier. So I dug this out because I've had this for years, and it's been like away and stored away. So I got it out. It's a little bit tighter than it used to be. Don't know what happened there. Great, spit at the fat kid, real good. No man, seriously, a goocher. Oh my god, I love that kid, Vern. He was such a scaredy cat. Like, I love that film so much. I might watch it again tonight, honestly. I just feel kind of nostalgic, even though I've already watched it. But it's one of those movies that you can't really... Every time you watch it, it's just like another experience, you know? So if you guys haven't seen it, I encourage you to watch it. Not sponsored. I wish I was sponsored by Stand By Me, but I'm not. I'm just feeling kind of nostalgic. Didn't really want to do anything scary or anything tonight. I don't know. I just felt like in a very happy Stand By Me mood, so... There's a little funny story for you guys, and I hope you watch the movie, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and chase your dreams.